Wow, wow, wow. Hello, listeners. Welcome to today's edition of Family Values, coming all the way from Tag Radio in Essex. Thank you for tuning in. I hope we have a good time together today. Thank you so much. I remain your hostess, Charlotte Adeniregun. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Last time we met, we were talking about siblings relationship. We tried to define what siblings are. We tried to talk about relationship, what is relationship, and how positive relationship can be fostered among siblings. Those we looked at. We looked at siblings rivalry, and we said that there is no need for siblings rivalry. Everybody or siblings have been endowed with their own God-given gift. All we have to do is to support one another to achieve that purpose, to achieve that dream. That's what we talked about. And we said there's no need for any competition. And any competition among siblings is ungodly and it's unwanted, it's uncalled for. So we should stay away from such. But instead, we should promote what? Cooperation among siblings, teamwork among siblings, supporting one another among siblings. And we should teach our siblings the need for humility, respect, and integrity. These cannot be overflogged. They are necessity in our lives, especially as siblings. So those were among what we discussed last time that we met. And today we shall be looking at something, related to siblings relationship. We're looking at it. And what is that? We'll be talking about parenting styles and discipline. Parenting styles and discipline. This is really a big topic. If we are not able to finish it, then I will continue from wherever I stopped today. But let's just get on with it and see where we are able to get to. So today we shall be looking at parenting styles and discipline. We'll look at what is parenting, what are styles, and what is discipline. And the moment we are able to look at these things individually, then we'll be able to marry them together and have a better knowledge of what parenting styles and discipline means. We'll also be looking at exploring different parenting styles. We'll look at different parenting styles and the best. And what I mean by the best may not be the best for you. Either way, as long as we are fulfilling purpose and destiny, then we are right. Sometimes depending on your location, depending on your beliefs, depending on your cultural values and the rest, we may not be able to agree on a particular one. Doesn't mean you are wrong or I'm wrong. It's just that concerning this particular issue, you have chosen to go that way, and it may just be working out for you. Then we'll look at some stories, if possible, from listeners, if they can share their own personal experiences concerning parenting styles. What is their own, their own experience? How did it work out? Was it positive at the end of the day or negative? And if it was negative, what did they put in place to get it corrected? I will appreciate if there will be people in the house that will just put in that phone call and make their own constructive suggestions and maybe experiential, suggestions too. I will appreciate that. And if we want to call in, please let's remember to call this number 079 200 26407. I repeat, feel free to call this number 079 200 26407. Thank you. Okay. We'll also be able to look at some tips on effective discipline without compromising values. We'll also be able to talk, I'll allow people to share their stories, what they did. We'll look at some common quotes about parenting. We'll also look at the end, the benefits of quality parenting. We'll look at the benefits of quality parenting. So as I said before, if we're not able to finish it, I'm happy to continue the next time. Thank you. Okay, let's quickly go to What is parenting? What is parenting? We are talking about parenting styles. We need to understand what parenting is. What is parenting? Say, parenting is the ability to raise your child or children to become responsible parent or adult like you are. Those of us that are parents today, many years ago, maybe 30 years ago, 35 years ago, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, as the case may be, we were not parents. We were more or less maybe children or young adults, adolescents. Maybe that was what we were. But today, by the grace of God, we are now parents, raising up our own children too. So that is the dynamism of life. One time you are a baby, another time you are a child, another time you are an adult, another time you are, a grandpa or, a parent, a grandpa, a grandma. That is how it goes, So we'll be looking at it. So your ability to raise up your children to become responsible parent like you are is parenting. Responsible parent, responsible adults, as the case may be. It involves ensuring children's healthy growth. Yet the verb there, healthy growth. Not just growing anyhow, but healthy growth. Because if they grow healthily, growing healthily means you are there as a parent to guide them, to provide all the basic things they need in life and the rest, to enable them to grow properly, so that they will be able to fulfill their own God-given purpose. So it's very important, healthy growth, until they get to adulthood. In fact, I don't think the role of a parent actually ends. Even after they marry, you still find that you still have one or two occasions where you have to impute, they come to you for, advice, godly advice and the rest. So it's like a continuous process. But most of the time after they are married and they leave or they get their independence, they are now working on their own. They are able to take responsibility for the action and the rest. The work of a parent becomes more reduced. So as I said, it may not be totally off, but it will be reduced. So that's very important for us to know until they get to adulthood. And then parents, they ensure what? Their child well-being. In all of this, you must ensure your child's well-being or your children's well-being. And you must also ensure their safety. You must ensure their safety. Parenting is raising children, which involves, it's a process. Parenting is actually a process. And that process involves what? Supporting your children. Involves promoting good values, good cultural values in the life of your children. It involves training your children. You must train them. Because I'm a Christian, I'm able to understand from the word of God that says, train up a child in the way he should go in the future, so that when he becomes grown up, it will not, it will not depart from those values you have imported. It will not be a castaway. It will not be a reproach to you. And that is why you must create that conscious effort, that time, quality time, to bring up your children properly. If not, it will come back to bite us. I pray we will not neglect our children. So it's a process that involves supporting, promoting, training, teaching, dialoguing, mentoring our children. Very important. As a parent, you must provide basic amenities for your children. And when we say basic amenities, we understand what basic amenities are. In addition to every other thing, basic amenities are very important. For instance, food is a necessity. As a parent, you must be able to provide for your children. You must be able to provide shelter for your children. Very important, shelter for your children. You must be able to educate your children. Sometimes when we talk about educating your children, people think it's just going to secondary school, then go to university and then have a degree. No. Educating your children is empowering them. Not just only to go to university or whatever, no. Can be to go to, fashion design school, to become a good fashion designer. Be just to acquire skills. Child wants to be a plumber, wants to be a carpenter, wants to be a painter, wants to be whatever. Give them that freedom to do it, but support them. And that support may come with what? Financial support. May come with emotional support. may come with mental support. Whatever support is necessary as a parent, you are expected to provide it. Very important. Leisure, you must be able to provide your family with leisure from time to time. And when we are talking about leisure, people think it's going to Los Angeles or Las Vegas, New York. And no, leisure can even be within the comfort of your home. There should be time for relaxing. There should be time to recuperate. There should be time to rest. There should be time to relax. All these are very important. And if you don't want to do it in your home and you feel, oh, last time we did it in the home, why don't we just go to a nearby park, to a nearby town, to a nearby resort center, to a nearby, gym or whatever? Then feel free to do so. And if you want to go far, why not? So whichever one is acceptable. But let there be time for relaxation. Let there be time for leisure. Very important. And so many other needs as the case may be. And the truth is, other needs that your family may need may not be the same with mine. And other needs my family may need may not be the same with yours. Either way doesn't mean you are wrong or I'm right. No, it is yours based on our what? Family values. And when we talk about family values, those values could be personal values, family values, societal values, community values, and it keeps going like that. Whichever one must be able to abide with what we have set out as our values. Very important. Okay, I think I've talked a bit about parenting. Let's talk about style. What is style? So that we can join the two together. Style, it says, this is a particular method or procedure or manner or process of doing a task. And in this process, we are talking about parenting. So what is your parenting style? You want to bring up your children, want to raise up your children to fulfill purpose and destiny. What procedure are you going to adopt? What style are you going to put in place? What are the things you are going to do? What method are you going to use to bring up your children in the way and manner you want them to be? So that is what is parenting style. So that process that you adopt to bring up your children or your child to align with your values. As I said, those values could be personal values, family values, societal values, cultural values. In all of it, you must be able to fulfill purpose. Why are you on earth? What have you come here to do? How do you go about achieving those purposes or that purpose you have come on earth to achieve? What do you put in place? What is the process? So as a parent, you must be able to put those things in place. As a parent, sometimes we may have challenges. Maybe those children have complex situations. They still need parenting. Maybe those children are stubborn. They are rebellious. They still need parenting. So what do? You must be able to put down processes in place that will enable them to fulfill purpose. You must be able to reduce those negative values to the barest minimum and increase positive values in your children. And then you must be able to know, how do I do it? What do I do? What do I put in place? What help do I seek? What information do I get? How do I empower my children? How do I embed in them those values, those family values I want them to hold on to, that will help them to build their life in the nearest future? Very important. So, in trying to adopt a particular family parenting styles, it involves greatly, I said it involves greatly, effective communication skills. Very important. For instance, I want my child to do a particular thing, or I want to pass on an information to my child, and I'm not able to do that. Then I'm just going to be a failure. You must be able to adopt a communication skill or style that will enable you to direct your child properly. Just putting it in your mind or in your head and not communicating it does not end. It will be futile at the end of the day. You must be able to pass on the information, and the way you can pass it on is by adopting effective communication skills. Not abusive communication skills, but effective communication skills. And some of these communication skills include being a good listener. Listening skills As a parent, you must be able to listen. You must be able to look. You must be able to feel. Are you able to feel what your children are passing through? Are you able to feel what your wife is passing through? Are you able to feel the scenario in your home and do something about it? Are you sensitive to the friends your children are keeping? Are you watchful, or it doesn't concern you? All these matters. So you must be a very good listener, a good observer. You must be able to attend. Attending skills, very important. If your child says, Daddy or Mommy, I want this, and you have, scrutinized it, it's something that is good, it's something worth emulating, it's something worth adopting, you must be able to attend to it. How do I do it? For instance, your child wants to do 11 plus exam, and he has told you that, Daddy, I would like to do 11 plus exam, and it's good. It will help that child maybe to go to one of the best secondary schools. You must be able to attend to it. Is it that you want to organize extra lessons for that child? Is it that you want to be giving 1 or 2 hours of your time every day after work? You must. Maybe you need to go to their school to go and find out what it involves. Are they organizing extra lessons after the normal lessons for such children? They must be able to pay so that they can get that extra tuition, that extra knowledge. So that's attending. Negotiating skills, very important. Sometimes your child wants something and you are not able to afford it. You must be able to negotiate with your child and sit your child down and say, yes, this thing you want is so good, but for now, Mommy and Daddy cannot afford it, maybe financially or whatever. Why don't we wait? Why don't we modify? Why don't we, bend it a little bit? That's negotiating. Must have good negotiating skills as a parent, very important. Questioning skills. Peradventure, especially like African parents, they want their children, most of them, to become lawyers, doctors, bankers, and the rest. You can name it. But that child may not be interested in those particular things. It doesn't mean that child will not fulfill purpose. Thank God today we can hear of chefs that have private jets, have hotels, and are doing excellently well all over the world. So it's not about what you read, it's about what you make out of what you have read. We've heard of fashion designers designing for top-notch celebrities, and they are making money. So it's not really by becoming a doctor or whatever. Questioning skills. So if maybe you tell your child, I want you to become a doctor and make me proud. It's good. I don't have anything wrong with it. But what if your child comes tomorrow and says, Dad, I don't want to be a doctor? So what do? You must be able to question that child. Why don't you want to be a doctor, my dear? Have you thought about it? Because I've seen that you are very intelligent. You'll be able to cope with medical exams or what it takes to become a medical doctor. And the child tells you, I don't have passion for medical doctor. This is what I have passion for. I want to be a fashion designer. Really, what does it involve? Have you searched it out? Are you able to cope? Where are the schools? Are there schools where you can gain these skills? And you find out. By so doing, you are questioning. You are using your questioning skills to know what to tell your child at the end of it, to give the best counsel whatsoever. So questioning skills are very, very important. And then reading skills. I know not everybody is literate. Some people are not literate. Be that as it may, it doesn't still make you less of a parent, but in case your child writes to you, you must be able to read. And if you're not able to read, you can ask somebody to read it for you and explain it to you. You can use interpreter. Now, even when you go to Google, there are some places where you type, you want a particular language to be interpreted to you, and it will be interpreted for you. So all these things are very important. So your child can say, okay, I write to you, Daddy, or Mommy, whatever. You must be able to read. So reading skills are very important. Maybe writing skills too. You want to communicate. You want to write it down in black and white and say, okay, my son, my daughter, let's write it down. Let's agree. And then you should be able to write down. You must be able to speak in language that is understandable. You must be able to speak audibly to your children. Maybe you want to use, and then so that they can also respond appropriately. So you must be able to speak audibly, understandably, so they can respond appropriately. And when they want to respond appropriately, or when they want to respond, sometimes it may not be face to face. Face to face is very good. You are looking at me, I'm looking at you, we are talking, we are negotiating, we are planning how to attend to your fears and what to do, which is good. But sometimes it's not possible. The person may not just be at your reach. Maybe the person is in boarding house, is in the university, in a far place, is in one thing. You must be able to still communicate. Wants to respond to what you have asked. The person can use telephone. So it's good we have good telephone skills to be able to pass our message across. As I said before, most of the time face to face, which is, for me, is the best. Or texting, must be able to text, and that's why I talked about reading skills. If somebody texts you and you're not able to read and understand, then it becomes a problem. Must be able to text so that we can understand. Can send email to you, or can put it in a post to you. All these are different ways of communicating. Okay, let's make some progress. There are different parenting styles. And these parenting styles, it's quite voluminous, but I'll try and say I can compress it because of our time. There are different school of thoughts, but this particular one says there are four parenting styles. And the first one is authoritative parenting style. And the second one is authoritarian parenting style. And the third one is permissive parenting style. I'm sure some of us are already understanding what the meanings are as we are listening, because some of the meanings can actually tell you the type of style it is already. And the fourth one is uninvolved or neglectful parenting style. Uninvolved or neglectful parenting style. So I'll try and see how I can explain these different parenting styles briefly. The first one, which is authoritative parenting style, it is a situation where the children, they listen to their parents. The parents are warmth, the parents are flexible, the parents are good listeners. The parents set the limits, the boundaries in the home, and the children try to abide. But one thing these parents do is that no matter the suggestion from their children, they don't want to take it. They just want to be the one that is in charge. They want to be the one that is leading. They don't want to see their children as safe leading. The children may even make suggestions. They may take it tomorrow. They may modify it, but they don't want the children to know that their input has any value or is of any significance. That is authoritative parenting style. The second one is authoritarian parenting style. I say these ones are like dictators. Bang, bang, bang. They don't listen to you. They make decision. They tell you it's fine. I go and do as I've said. It's just like in the case of God's case, no appeal. Don't question me. Don't ask me any question. Just go and do. That is authoritarian parenting style. So as I said, they are like dictators. They are very strict. And they place high expectation on their children. They set high standards most of the time that are not achievable for their children. They'll sit you down and say, these subjects you are doing, I want A1, distinction. They are not going to read it. You are going to be the one to read it, but that's what they want. So those are authoritarian. All children cannot be the same. It's not possible. You must be able to understand your children. Some are fast learners, some are slow learners. So when you put all of them on the same pedestal, so what will happen? Later you find some of them withdrawing. You find some of them taking counsel from outsiders. Outsiders take advantage of them and groom them. Why? Because you have made yourself unapproachable, unreachable by your children. So we must be careful to make sure that we are not authoritarian to our children. It's not a very good, what I'm trying to say, it's not a very good parenting style. It's not very good. Though it works for some people, but most times it doesn't really work out very well. And then the next one is permissive. As I said, permissive. So you can, from the word permissive. This type of parenting styles allow the children to make their choices. Everything is okay. They choose the course they want to read. They choose the type of work they want to do. They choose the type of food they want to eat. They choose their bedtime. They choose when to do their homework if they like. If they don't like, they don't do. Nobody oversees what they are doing. There is danger in this type of parenting style, because they may be towing the wrong path. But as a parent, because you are not, you are not curbing them, they may have gone out of correction before you now want to step in. So permissive. So to some extent it's good, but to a larger extent it can be risky, can be dangerous. Then the last but not the least is uninvolved. Like I said, uninvolved or neglectful parenting style. Uninvolved or neglectful parenting style can be due to work, shift patterns, you running after money instead of your children upbringing, you wanting to build mansions instead of giving quality to your children, you not being there for your children to listen to them, to know where to advise them, to know where to counsel them, to know where to cudgel them, to know where to support them. You are neglectful. This type of parenting is very common with parents with mental health conditions, mental health challenges. You can't blame them because they are not mentally balanced. So for them to be able to give the best to their children become questionable. That is why sometimes you find social services, police, and other professionals like psychiatrists and the rest coming to their rescue, helping them to bounce back and be better so that they can also give the best to their children. Neglectful parenting style is not the best, and it's very common with single parent, because you are the only one. You have to pay the bills, you have to do the school run, you have to go to work, you have to attend the parent teachers evening and all the rest. Then you become overwhelmed and you just say, you know what, let me just face my work. The one that will be good will be good, the one that will be bad will be bad. What will be will be. So it's not a good parenting style at all. And I pray that we will not neglect our children at their early stage or age when they need us, and we'll start to weep later on in life. And all the things we think we are running after or trying to acquire will not answer at the end of the day. So let's try and prioritize. Our children can never be neglected. So among all these four, the best one that people recommend is the authoritative form of parenting style. They have their reason. As I said, there's no hard and fast rule about it. You think about it. Which one will make your child to become what you want them to become? Which one will make them to uphold the values that you believe in? Maybe as an individual, as a family, as a culture, in your culture or in your society. All these are very important. So let's take these parenting styles on board and make sure we adopt them to take care of our children and bring them up in the best form they can ever be. And they'll be happy at the end of the day. They'll be very happy. They will appreciate you for being there for them. Okay, let's continue. I want us to look at some of the let's look at some of the quotes, about parenting styles. I've not talked about discipline. Maybe next time I'll talk about discipline. But let's look at some quotes. These quotes are really very exciting. I just love them because of time today. Let's just look at some quotes about parenting styles. The first quote I have here about parenting style is one. It says, Be the positive parent today that you want your children to remember and celebrate tomorrow. Be the positive parent. How can you be a positive parent if you don't give your time? How can you be a positive parent if you are not there for your children? How can you be a positive parent if you don't pay the price now? And for every parent that have paid the price, that have given their time, that have made sacrifices for their children, truly and truly the children, we celebrate them, they will appreciate them. They'll become a reference point for their children. They will not be bad parents in Jesus' name. We will not choose the things of the world over our children. Very important. So let's remember that our input today, our sacrifices today, our, time that we are investing into our children today, they will remember tomorrow, and they will celebrate us and tell us, thank you, mommy, thank you, daddy, for what you did for us when we were growing up. I've seen children, when they grow up, they will tell their parents, we knew what you were doing then, but we couldn't talk. Especially in abusive relationships. They'll tell their father, we saw how you were abusive to our mother. This is something maybe long ago, maybe like 20 years ago. That's why I tell people, don't think children don't know or they don't see. They do. But because they don't have their freedom yet, because they are not yet independent, because they are still waiting on you for their basic amenities, they'll keep quiet and pretend not to see anything. The moment they get their freedom, they'll tell you verbatim what you have done. So if you know somewhere, sometime, someday, your children will tell you verbatim what you have done, I will encourage you to start doing the positive things so that when they remember, it will be positive, positive, positive all the way. Okay. Another quote says, someone is going to teach your children anyway about life. Be their person. Somebody is going to teach your children somehow, somewhere. Because they have to learn. When we're coming to this world, there was virtually nothing in our brain. It was, that is how God made it. That's why when you are just born, you are not able to talk, you are not able to speak. So you are going to learn all these things as you grow up. So what are you being exposed to? What you are being exposed to is what is going to make you. So it's very important. So if you are not there to teach your children, somebody somewhere will teach them. The groomer will groom them. We just lost somebody recently. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. God help me. From what I see sometimes. Then I start to ask, where are the parents? What happened? How can a boy of 16 years old die just because of overdose? Where were the parents? It means they neglected them. They did not care. They were not there. Nobody to confide in. Nobody to counsel. Nobody to confide in. Nobody to pour out your heart to. But the groomer now came in and took hold of him. And now look at what they have cost him, his life. Let's be there for our children. So that the groomer will not teach them. We'll be there to teach them godly values, moral values, cultural values, values that will make them to have self-worth and self-esteem, values that will make them to be confident, values that will make them to be able to stand up for themselves tomorrow, values that will make them to preserve the culture of the country. Let's be there for our children so that somebody else will not teach them what we ought to have taught them, or the opposite of what we were supposed to have taught them. God will help us. Another one says, too much love never spoils children. I really love this. Therefore, show them love. Show them love. Some parents don't know how to love their children at all. It's like they're in a war zone in the home. If the society, if outside your house is a war zone, must your own home be a war zone? If your own home is a war zone, where would they run to? So make your home as welcoming, as joyous, as peaceful, as godly, as goodly as it can be. Make it a place of love. a place of care, a place of understanding, a place of appreciating one another, supporting one another, working together to achieve a common goal. Make your home the best that it can ever be. It's possible. Not to run away from the home. Permit me to say, men, stay in the home. It's your home. The man is the head of the home, and the woman is the second in command. I don't belong to the school that says, no, men and women are equally. No, let's give the men their place. They lead, and that's why when we get married to them, we drop our father's name, we pick up their name. Because we believe they are the head, they'll be able to lead. They'll be able to pilot the boat to the destination. All we can do is to support them by prayers. In any way we can support them, let's keep supporting them. And as we do so, the Lord will bless us, and they will love us, they will love our children, and they will build a home that will be worth emulating by the grace of God. So please, let's be there to teach our children. The next one says, your children need your presence more than your presence. Your presence, ending with CE, more than your presence, ending with TS. Some people just believe in buying their children presents and they think that is it. Is that training? That's not training. That's not a good form of parenting. You give them iPad when they are throwing tantrums or whatever, instead of you to say, what's the matter? What is making you to cry? Sit down, let's talk, and know what the problem is. You just say, take your iPad, see your iPad there, and the child goes on games, and he's playing games all the day, every time, everywhere. That's not a good way of parenting a child. You are not putting any value in that child. And tomorrow he goes out and disgraces you and you are complaining. What have you put in that child? So they need your presence. When your presence is there, you know when to discipline them, you will know when to encourage them, you will know when to talk with them, you know when to dialogue, you know what to do. You know how to lead them, both in the academics and non-academics environment. You know what to do. Very important. A child went to school one time and misbehaved, was insulting the teacher and the rest. And then they sent the child home. When the child got home, the father said, why? And followed the child back to school. On getting back to the school, he told the teacher, it is your duty to train the child. And the teacher said, no. How many hours does this child spend in school? Maybe 7 or 8 hours. Remove 7 or 8 hours from 24 hours. You are left with about 16 hours. Where does he stay for that 16 hours? He stays with you as a parent. It is your duty. You are only taking care of this one or these two. I have about 20, 30 children in the class. Sir, please, go and take your duty. Go and take up your role. Be a responsible father. And the man was ashamed of himself. But he got home and put in plans, processes in place. And that child became a better child. And that child became the best version of himself. Peradventure, because somebody challenged the father. It is our duty as parents. We are accountable. We are responsible for our children. So very important, don't leave your parenting responsibility to somebody else to do for you. That's why I say parenting style, parents, father, mother. Some of us, we take our children, go and give them to our nan. What do you think nan will do? Nan that is already old, that needs help too. You want them to help you take care of your children? You don't even go from time to time to check on their welfare, on their educational needs, on their physical needs, mental needs, emotional needs. You don't go to check. Social needs, you don't go to check. You don't care. And then tomorrow it will bounce back and they will now find out that we are the ones that have slacked in our responsibility. May God help us. Another one says, so let's know, before you buy presents, make sure your presence is already felt before you now go and buy the presents. And as you do so, your children will make you proud. Okay, the next one says, don't worry that children never listen to you. Don't worry. But worry that they are always watching you. Which is true. The children are looking, they are watching. What is mommy doing? What is daddy doing? You say don't tell lies every time you are telling lies as a parent. You say don't steal every time you are compromising, you are changing figures, you are stealing. you know. So those things they are looking. Is your integrity at stake? They know. So don't worry that they are not listening, but worry that they are watching you as mommy, as daddy. What is mommy doing? What's daddy is doing? When daddy is not at home, who does mommy relate with? Who are the people that come to see mommy? Is mommy the type that go about borrowing? She never lives a life of contentment. She wants to attend all the parties in her environment. Is that the type of lifestyle that mommy is living? The children are looking, they are seeing. What is daddy also doing? Are you the type that will tell your children that I'm going to work and you don't get to work? Are you the type that keep extramarital affairs? They are looking, they are watching, they know. Are you the type that will tell them that you don't have money, but you'll be spending money for outsiders, for other people? I'm not saying it is wrong to spend money for other people, but don't neglect your core family. Very important. Don't neglect them. Try to live a balanced life. Try to live a life that is worth emulating as parents. God will help us. Okay, I'll just take one or two and then. The next one says, being a parent is commitment. Great commitment. It's not easy, but it's doable. That's what I tell people. Yes, it's not easy, but it's doable. Then pray for the strength, pray for the grace to be able to do it. If you were not going to be a good parent, God wouldn't have given you children. He gave you children because he knows that he has put what it takes to bring up a child. It's just for you to bring it out. It's just for you to, to fathom it, to express it. Very important to do what it takes to do. So it's commitment. You're committed to love your children. You're committed to care for your children. You're committed to empower them. You're committed to provide for them. Don't run away from your commitments. Please, let's be there. Another one says, being a parent can be tough. True. They may not know it, but they will come to say thank you tomorrow. True. When you pay the price today, your children will come tomorrow to say thank you, daddy, thank you, mommy. I said it before. Another one says, behind every great child is a parent. Are you the parent behind that great child? Let's look at those children, those great children. Look at the Williams in America. Serena Williams, Venus. Their father was there behind them. There were times they failed. There were times they could not do anything. But he kept on encouraging them. Get on, daughter. You can do it. Move on. Move on. He never said, oh, I can't drive. I don't have fuel. I will not take you there. What's my business? But today is enjoying the fruits. That is how it is. When he was paying the price many years ago, we didn't know it would turn out like this. So don't ever give up on your children. Don't give up. Continue to push. Continue to believe in them. Continue to encourage them. Behind the scene, be praying for them. And you will see that they will become great and mighty giants in future. It says, if you have never been hated by your children, you have not been a parent. It's true. Your children will not love you all the time. There are some things that will be hard, some hard truths you tell them. Say, this one is difficult. See what daddy is saying. But later they will understand. Not because you hate them. Like I tell people, when you correct your children, let them know why you have corrected them so they can take it on board. And also, when they do something good, appreciate them. Some of us don't know that it is good to appreciate our children. Some of us don't know that we can tell our children, thank you. Some of us don't know we can tell our children, I'm sorry. Sometimes we act irrationally. Sometimes we act too quick before we know the real truth. We must be able to humble ourselves before our children and say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I didn't mean it that way. We must be able to apologize to our children. And I pray that our children will become great giants in the name of God or Jesus. If you are a Christian, I want to bring it to a close today. Next time we'll be talking about discipline. I'll be looking at benefits of parenting styles. We'll be looking at benefits to a greater extent next time. So I want to draw the curtain here. I believe you've been able to hear about different parenting styles. So as you put these things in practice, you and I will rejoice, will be celebrated, We will not be wasteful parents. We will not be parents that have no honor and dignity. But we will stand that, and we will stand that very well, and we will stand that tall. And our children will celebrate us. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord cause his face to shine upon you and grant you peace round about. God bless you real good. I love you all. All right, until I come your way again, I want to draw the curtains here. So bye. Thank you so much. I appreciate our production team. I appreciate our counselor behind the scene of everything that is happening in Torok, in Tag Radio. Thank you so much, Ma. Torok African Group Radio. Yes, thank you. God bless you real good. All right, until I come your way again next time. Bye.